Yep.
All right. Black to play. And yeah, this is a position. You're playing with the black pieces. Come up with the best move.
This is tactical things, right?
This is yeah, like this is a combination. There is a combination here. You have to find it. It could be on the first move. It could be on the second move. Don't
Mhm.
know. What are you thinking?
Well, I know the ideas here. I just don't know how to make it all work. Queen F1, Bishop F2, Rook D, E1 are all moves that will be played. Uh, but in what order, I don't know.
So okay, now you can, if let's say you can start to eliminate some options that you don't think would be worth it.
There's other ideas in this position too. Potentially, like Queen F3, for example. I have to think about those things.
Mhm. So what you can do is you can make a list of moves, then try to calculate each of those moves and evaluate all the options. Which one is the best out of the three? Mhm. What are you thinking?
Uh, like I know there's also more possibilities of like I understand like I feel like I know this pattern or can imagine the pattern of getting something to F1 and then taking it, giving it check, pushing the king back to G1 and a mate on E1. Bishop H3 is a move also in some scenarios, but what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But is there something concrete that you're calculating?
no,
Okay.
I'm still trying to find the right idea or something.
Okay. You won't be able to find the right idea if you don't calculate. It's if you just think about the moves, it's gonna be quite tough to find to come up to find an idea that will work. There are many ideas that like you pointed out here. Come on.
Uh,
Okay, speak out your calculation loud. Speak out whatever is going inside your head. Speak it out loud.
okay. Queen F1, Queen F1, Rook E1. Maybe he can play G3. Then Bishop H3, Bishop G2, then I don't have anything necessarily concrete. Queen F1, Rook E1. Yeah, G3 seems to save black or white. Bishop F2, King F2. I don't really see anything after that. Rook E1, Queen D3. Don't see anything after that. Queen F3, GF3. Then Rook E1. I mean, what am I really threatening? Nothing. He can take it. Uh,
Okay, so you can continue. You don't have to just look for forcing moves on move number one. You also have to look for forcing moves on move number two, move number three, whenever you're calculating.
F3, GF3, Rook check, King H1. Push. Bishop F2, King F2, Rook E2. Takes, King G1. Don't have anything, right? Bishop F2, King F2, Rook E2. Even in that position, he can just go back to G1. Queen F1, Queen F1. Rook E1, Queen D3. Then Bishop F2, King F2. Queen F1, Queen F1. Rook E1, G3. Takes, check on H3, Bishop G2. I don't know, man. This one is hard for me for some reason. I mean, I feel like I know the pattern, the ideas and themes, but I'm just not getting the What else could it be?
Okay, so
I
it's a
don't
long sequence that you have to foresee after this.
know. Okay. Queen f3, gf3. Rook check, king h1. Bishop h3. It works. Queen f3, g3, rook g6. King h1. Bishop h3. Can he play rook g1? Can he move the rook away? Rook d1 even? What would I do after even move like rook d1? Bishop g2, king g1. Bishop f3. King f1. Still nothing. Queen f3, gf3. Rook e1. What am I threatening?
Continue with the previous line only.
Queen f3, gf3, rook g6, king h1.
Believe that your pieces have enough potential for some checkmating ideas there.
Queen f3, gf3, rook g6, king h1. Then what happens next? What kind of power do I have after that? I just have two rooks and a bishop.
You have two bishops.
Well, yeah, the f1, f2, I guess. B6. Okay.
Yeah,
Takes, check, king h1. Bishop h3. Let's just say he plays rook g1. In that position, I can take the rook, check, king takes, then rook e1 is mate. Or king,
correct,
queen f1, then mate.
correct.
Okay, so
But
already we
what
have
if
some idea. Yeah, I'm looking at the deviations. So queen f3, gf3, check, king h1, bishop h3. Basically, my threat is to play bishop g2 and bishop f3.
Mhm,
So he's got to move his rook. Let's just say he plays rook d1.
mhm.
Bishop g2, check, king g1. Bishop f3, king f1. Then I can take the rook. But I don't know if that's like winning. Maybe it is. Hold on. I'm getting a bishop and a rook for the queen. I'm still got threats basically on this king. After that scenario at the end with the bishop on d1, I just took his rook. Can I then like
Mm-hmm.
put him in a mating net would be the question, I guess, right? Can I come back to f3
Mm.
or something? I mean, but what is he gonna move in the meantime? It's gonna
Yeah,
be
like you have to judge whether that position, you have enough attack, you have enough threats against the black king, against the white king. Do you think you have enough threats there?
well, okay, so I got a rook and bishop out of the deal. And
Yeah.
I have two very active bishops still and two rooks pointing at him.
Mm-hmm.
So probably, I mean, it's worth going into because his king is going to be trapped for a while. Uh, but concretely, I don't know. I can't really see what would he do after I
That.
just took on d1. And what's his next move?
Mm-hmm.
Queen
Yeah.
f3, g3, rook g6, king h1. Bishop h3, rook d1, bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, king f1. Then, wait a second. In that position, oh shit, he's got a rook on. I was gonna play rook e1, but he has a rook on d1. Okay, then in that position, bishop d1.
Okay. So bishop d1 is also like it's possible, but there is, see if why do you need to take the bishop? Why are you so greedy of behind taking the rook? Because you want to restore the material balance, correct? What if for a moment we forget about the material balance and go after the enemy king? What if we could weave a mating net around the enemy king with some more pieces?
Okay, so if check again on g2, or sorry, yeah, I play bishop h3 check, king h1. I'm gonna play bishop f2.
No.
I'm threatening checkmate on g2.
Mhm. Okay, I think I'll help a bit here. So if let's say according to your calculations, you see that the position, you remember the line you saw of the bishop d1,
Yeah,
like bishop d1, you take the rook.
yeah.
If in that position you feel you have enough compensation to go for the attack, you should go for it. Okay. Like white's king is very weak. That is one factor. You have a light squared bishop that is unchallenged, and you have a
Mhm.
rook and a bishop. So generally, that's not enough compensation. But with such a weak king, you should believe that there can be you have enough to go after the white king. So you can go for it if you only see that line. Okay. Otherwise, you will have to play something like, let's say if you're not sure about that line, then maybe you have to play something like queen a6, or queen f1, rook e1, and go with that line. Okay.
Mhm.
The I'll show you what the right move here was. Play queen f3, gf3, rook g6, king h1, bishop h3, attacking the rook. Now you found after rook g1 there is a checkmate, so full marks there. What if
Wait,
the
wait,
rook
hold on,
goes
hold on.
to
After Rook G1, the checkmate is with
take and rook e1?
wait, what?
Take,
Oh
take,
yeah, that's
and
right.
rook
And then
e1.
Rook E1, right, right, right.
Yeah. Okay, so that is correct. So instead of that, white has to save the rook. White goes rook d1. Now you go bishop g2 check, king g1, bishop f3, king f1. And now we have to believe that we have enough of an attacking potential against this king. So we can go, we can try to create a checkmating pattern with our rook and this bishop as well, with the move rook to g2, not taking this rook.
We're threading mate on f2 now, right?
F2, yes, he can't go here. He has to go here, but then he walks into a deadly discovery. With again, we'll go Rook G2, and then wherever he goes, we are gonna threaten the checkmate on G1.
Wait, so after Rook G2, what's White's move?
The white is like forcefully lost because we have too many threats in that position. Number one threat is Rook F2. How does white save that? Let's say white plays D4, for example. Okay. The Rook will protect this pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Rook H2. And Rook H1 is a threat. Are you able to visualize, or should I move the pieces?
Um, Barely, not really, honestly. It's getting fuzzy.
Okay. Okay, fine. So look, Queen F3, G F3, Rook G6 check, King moves. Now we go Bishop H3. Okay. Now our threat is Bishop G2, Bishop F3 mate. Let's say this Rook goes here. We go this check. King moves. Bishop F3 check. King can't go here. The only move is here. And now with these three pieces, we are gonna, and also this, we are gonna construct a mating net. Rook G2. If white goes D4, or let's say if he goes even this, eliminating the bishop, we are gonna play Rook into H2. Next move, Rook H1 is unstoppable mate.
Hmm.
Okay, like this is a very famous pattern, like the bishop is here and the rook basically gives a checkmate along the
Yeah,
back rank.
yeah.
And if let's say otherwise, we are going to threaten rook into f2. Okay, like for example, let's say he plays yeah, okay, let's say he gets the queen back here to d3. We're going to play this check. King moves. We're going to give rook check. King moves here. Now since there is no pawn on f2, we have this checkmate. Or if let's say the king goes here, same, we have this checkmate. Two pieces are given a check.
Hmm.
So this is basically a checkmating attack against this white king after Rook G2. We don't need to take the rook.
Hmm.
Imagine Morphy playing this in 1857.
Actually, I should have found Rook takes H2, takes H2 because that's a pattern I'm already familiar with.
Yeah, yeah. But I think like for you to find that, you had to see the entire you would have to see the entire position very clearly in your head. Like if I like in this position, yes, it's easy to find Rook H2 because you know the pattern. But the question is whether you find that pattern in this position. Can you see that pattern?
I
That is
think I should have been
important.
able to find. I did consider Rook G2, but I didn't, for some reason, consider Rook H2 and Rook H1 being so deadly, and there's nothing to help. But I should have been able to recognize it because there's no pieces to defend on the king side.
Yeah.
With the bishop cutting off the king, there's no and the e file blocked.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he can escape. There's no pieces that can help.
So based on this, what did you learn about yourself from this puzzle? What are the things that you learned about your own self, your own calculation?
Uh, I would say that I need to maybe visualize each position and then think back on the patterns again to see if there's any pattern I can find in that scenario. Like, for example, I should have been able to find Rook G2, Rook H2. That should have been worked out in my head that, okay, in that position, there's no white pieces that can come to the rescue at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, the only possibility would have been if F3 could be attacked, but he doesn't have
Time for that.
time, I think, right? Because after Rook G2,
Yeah.
If the queen comes back to d3, I guess that would complicate things because I have to consider what happens after queen d3, and I would have to be able to find rook f2 and all this stuff too. I couldn't just say, okay,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter what he does, I can just play rook g2, rook h2 because I can't. Queen d3 is hitting the bishop on f3.
Mm-hmm. But by the way, rook f2 is a direct threat, like rook g2, rook f2. So that is something you would have to consider as well.
Yeah, I would have
Rook
to
g2,
see
rook.
rook f2 also
Yeah.
because there
Okay.
is a piece that can remove the bishop, the queen.
Yeah. 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 So I think like if you can see each and every position very clearly in your head, you'll be able to notice these. You'll be able to find the answer, and also uh, like now I understand you think in patterns. But let's say if I were calculating this position, I would just, you know, not think so much about the. I don't know if I would think so much about the patterns. I would try to look for more concrete move orders. Okay,
Hmm.
concrete moves rather than thinking about, okay, there is a pattern here and all. So, but I don't know if that is an approach you would be comfortable with personally.
I always try to think in patterns and stuff. I do not really like to calculate. I don't like to memorize. I like to understand concepts and trying to put concepts in my head because
Y-
I don't have enough time nor mental capacity to remember and memorize anything. And I also am not very good at calculating. I mean, that's what I'm trying to improve at calculations, but I've learned, I think I learn faster just from recognizing just concepts and patterns. It makes chess
Yeah,
look
like
easier.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you'd completely disregard patterns, but I think at the end of the day, like it also comes down to calculating the specific moves, being
Yeah,
able to see the patterns because this is a very long, like a 7 or 9 move puzzle. So you
right.
have to keep it in your mind. You have to be able to calculate long. Okay.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, this is, I think, one of the hardest puzzles to start with. The next puzzle, you're going to be like, what is this? Okay. You're like, yeah, just white to play.
Uh, Pretty obvious, right? Queen f4,
Yeah. Bishop f4,
rook h5,
gh5.
rook h5.
Correct. You're right. Yeah. We tortured ourselves in the first puzzle, and this is what we get second puzzle.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, this one very classy. White to play. What are you thinking?
Uh, I'm trying to make rook d7 work. I mean, I would play that move even if this was a blitz game, I wouldn't even think twice before playing rook d7 here. But I mean, at least I'm winning the material back with an attack. So there's no reason why I wouldn't play it even if I didn't see anything after rook d7. Well, as long
Mm-hmm.
as I see that there's a check on f6. But concretely,
Remember, you are a pawn down. So, yes, you could win material, but you're also exchange pieces. This is also a very, I would say, this is also a nice pattern.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to find knight d5. Okay, so yeah, rook d7, bishop d7, knight check. King has to go to f8, otherwise he's losing his queen. Then after that, knight d5, I'm threatening the queen and also queen h8. There's no way to stop
Yeah,
both.
perfect. Very good. Here we have rook d7. Here, knight check, king moves, and we have knight d5. Mate here and knight d7 here. Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now let's go to some games.
Sure.
You can share your screen.
Yeah, let me stop the recording for this part.
Yeah.